Late General Murtala Mohammed was a Nigerian general who led the 1966 Nigerian counter-coup in overthrowing Agoyin Ironsi's military regime and featured well during this Nigerian Civil War, and thereafter ruled over Nigeria from 30th of July 1975 until his assassination on 13th of February 1976. This period in Nigeria history, from the northern counter-coup victory to Murtala's death, is commonly associated with the institutionalization of the military in politics. General Murtala Mohammed was born in Kano into a ruling class religious family. Murtala served in the Nigerian Army as a cadet in the Royal Military Academy. He later served in Congo, eventually rose through the ranks to become Brigadier General in 1971 at the age of 33. So by then he became one of the youngest generals in Nigeria. 3 years later, Murtala became the Federal Commissioner for Communications in Lagos. As a conservative and federalist, Murtala regretted the overthrow of the First Republic of Aguiyi Ironsi's unification decree of 1966. He was devastated by the assassination of Sir Ahmadu Bello, and for a time seriously considered the secession of northern Nigeria. His career redoubled after Chukwuma Kaduna and the young majors orchestrated the first military coup in Nigeria of 1966 coup, empowering him to lead the mutiny of the night of 29 July 1966 in Abeokuta. During the war, he commanded Nigeria's 2nd Infantry Division, which was responsible for the death of civilians and much of the rebels. His command's use of veteran soldiers, no-quarter and scorched earth strategies led to between 10,000 and 30,000 deaths. Nigeria under Murtala presided over a period of rampant economic prosperity. At the same time, his regime transitioned from being authoritarian into consensus decision, making with Murtala the leader of a military regime alongside generals Olusegun Obasanjo and Theophilus Danjuma. The dictatorship softened and Murtala unveiled plans for the demilitarization of politics. He brought out a plan and a decree that a stop should come to the coup d'etat, that everyone should have free and fair opinion. In 1976, barely 7 months into his rule, Murtala, without having time to see his plans implemented, was assassinated in a failed coup d'etat attempt, being succeeded by Olusegun Obasanjo as head of state, who in turn led the Nigeria transition to democracy with the Second Nigerian Republic. On the 13th of February 1976, General Murtala Mohammed set off for work along his usual route on George Street. Shortly after 8 a.m., his Mercedes-Benz car traveled slowly in the infamous Lagos traffic near the Federal Secretariat at Ikoyi in Lagos, and a group of soldiers emerged from an adjacent petrol station. They ambushed the vehicle and assassinated General Murtala Mohammed. Late Murtala Mohammed was killed at the age of 37, along with his aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Akintunde Akinshenwa, in his black Mercedes-Benz saloon car on 13th of February 1976. The car was ambushed to his office at Dodan Barracks, Lagos. The only visible sign of protection was a pistol carried by his orderly making his assassination an easy task. The assassination was part of an attempted coup led by Lieutenant Bukka Suka Dimka. He was executed on 15th of May 1976 at the Kirikiri Maximum Security Prison in Lagos. He was succeeded by the Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarter Olusegun Obasanjo, who completed his plan of an orderly transfer to civilian rule by handing power to Shehu Shagari on the 1st of October 1979. So today, Murtala Muhammed's portrait adorns the 20 naira notes, and we also have Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. These are named in his honor. At the start of the Nigeria Civil War, Mohammed was the commander of the newly established 2nd Infantry Division. The two division was responsible for the beating back of the Biafran army from the Midwest region, as well as crossing the River Niger and linking up with the 1 division, which was advancing from Nsukka and Enugu. However, this was only achieved after several failed river crossings, in which thousands of troops died as a result of drowning or enemy fire. During his time as commander, late General Murtala Mohammed was implicated in several violations of appropriate conduct. Lieutenant Ishola Williams, an officer who served under Mohammed, alleged that he ordered the summary execution of Biafran prisoners of war. So in June 1968, he relinquished his commanding position and was posted to Lagos and appointed Inspector of Signals. In 1968, that was April, he was promoted to colonel. The actions of the division during this period, mostly in Asaba, became a subject of speculation. In a book published in 2017, Elizabeth Baird and Francois Otanelli, their documents the 1967 mass murder of civilians by troops of the 2 division under General Murtala Muhammed command. They also discussed the events leading up to the massacre and its impact on Asaba and on the progress of the war, as well as other civilian massacres carried out by soldiers of the 2nd Division at Onitsha. So, between 1970 and 1971, he attended the Joint Service Staff College in England. His supervisor's reports attributed him to having a quick, agile mind, considerable ability, and common sense. He holds strong views, which he puts forward in a forthright manner. He is a strong character and determined. However, he finds it difficult to moderate his opinions and finds it difficult to enter into debates with others whose views he may not share. After the war, he was promoted to Brigadier General in October 1971. Between 1971 and 1974, Mohammed was involved in routine activities within the signals units of the army. However, he also disagreed with some of the policies being pursued by Yakubu Gowon. So on the 7th of August 1974, the head of state then, General Yakubu Gowon, appointed him as the new Federal Commissioner for Communications, which he combined with his military duties as Inspector of Signals at the Army Signals Headquarters in Apapa, Lagos. On the 7th of August 1974, General Yakubu Gowon appointed Murtala Mohammed as the Federal Commissioner. That's the post we call minister in this present dispensation. So he was appointed the Federal Commissioner for Communications to oversee and facilitate the nation's development of cost-effective communication infrastructures during the oil boom. After the war and after he took power as head of state, Murtala Muhammed started the reorganization and demobilization of 100,000 troops from the armed forces. The number of troops in the armed forces decreased from 250,000 to 150,000. On 29th of July 1975, General Yakubu Gowon was overthrown while attending the 12th summit of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in Kampala, Uganda. Mohammed took power as the new military head of state, Brigadier Obasanjo, who later became a Lieutenant General, and Danjuma, who later became Lieutenant General, were appointed as Chief of Staff, Supreme HQ, and Chief of Army Staff, respectively. So, with respect to the portrait adorned on the 20 Naira notes, and also the airports named after him, Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, we shall never forget him. The labor of our aerospace shall never be in vain.